All right, y'all, just want to go over a couple of quick aspects of this Florida LSU game. I'm so intrigued by it. I think it's going to be absolutely electric out there. So LSU's defense, man, I don't know what to say about LSU's defense. Despite not necessarily playing the best of competition, it hasn't looked all that good to me. This particular aspect right here, the running game, right, which may not have to be a factor against Florida, which I don't think has a good running game at all, but it actually may work on Florida's favor, right? It's maybe one of the worst rushing defenses that it's faced thus far, especially if you can talk about Auburn and Miami. So, all right, we look on right here. One of the things I wanted to point out was looking at working with a little bit lighter personnel, right? You got a zero technique here, and I believe that's Joseph Evans, right? He's 288 pounds, right? So no 300 pounds straight up and down zero technique. I think Justin Thomas is over here. He's probably like 250 something pounds, right? So if you're talking about the run game and mashing somebody, Braden Fajoko right here, your 3-down lineman, I think Fajoko's probably like 290 or whatever like that. But right here, simple split zone play, right? And look at these guys getting washed down. They're getting washed away like rain. Washed away. Look at that. People get moved. My man's on skates right here. Justin Thomas might be a little bit too light. He's on skates. Look at him. He's getting washed down. Evans looks like he's literally on skates. Check this out. He can't look. He can't stop right there. He's literally on skates, right? So this isn't the same type of personnel that we've seen from LSU before, right? And this was to start the game. 88 and out the gate. Keyshawn Vaughn, right? All right, go back. Let's see what the second level doing. Patrick Queen and Jacob Phillips, two of the better linebackers, in my opinion, in the country, especially number 6. All right, we look at him. He's all enamored, right? So his eye discipline's a little off right there, right? He's going with the split zone, the cross formation block, so he gets sealed back inside. He thinks he actually should be going back outside. Patrick Queen caught up in the wash from a combo block, getting up to him. So this is a lot of the same stuff. Florida run split zone and everything like that. Maybe it could see itself having success in that manner. Same kind of deal right here. The tackling has been suspect, especially from Grant Delpit. That's my guy right there. I thought he's the best player in all of college football. That's what I said, right? Him and Chase Young from Ohio State. Same kind of deal right here. Split zone. Grant Delpit, one-on-one situation. Go ahead and make it the tackle at the line of scrimmage like we're used to seeing from him. No. Not at all, right? So not a big gainer or anything like that, but I just been noticing a lot of missed tackles from LSU. That's against teams, I think, with subpar personnel, right? Not this particular running back. Obviously, he's elite or borderline elite, but still, the personnel around him is not elite at all. All right, this is where LSU is going to absolutely destroy most of college football. Athletes are too phenomenal, too dynamic. Quarterback is too good, too dynamic in his own right for you to be playing off like this. Now, this is what I think could be the key to the game. If Florida has to play, which would make sense, right? C.J. Henderson's probably a top 10 talent in all of college football at the cornerback position. Marco Wilson, usually in the upper echelon of cornerbacks, Trey Dean and these guys like that. Can they press up against LSU and force Joe Burrow to hold the ball? These teams we saw were scared to death, shook, scared to death, and scared to look. Look how far they're playing off. You cannot do that against this team. You know what they're going to do? Right? Quick passes to elite athletes. Now look at this space. You can't do nothing about that. Now when he gets the ball, what are you going to do about it? You can't tackle him, right? Too goddamn electrifying. You're just going to slide up off of him. He's going to break big gains and whatnot. All right, look at this particular sequence. I think it illustrates a lot of what I've been saying right here, especially about LSU's offensive line. So you see the quick pressure getting open up the middle. Let's be honest here. Florida's defense is infinitely better than Vanderbilt's, especially the defensive front, right? Especially everything. But it looked like they had a good plan. We can see the shade right here coming open. Look at Burrow, though, man. His ability to keep his eyes downfield. Great pocket feel. But I think they had a really good measure going right here, right? Maybe it looks like he was initially was going to spy Joe Burrow. Then he sees Clyde Edwards-Helaire going out the backfield. I'm not sure if he was going to check off of him right there, but trying to keep Burrow contained in a pocket. And go back right here. To me, perhaps the best receiver in all of college football is Justin Jefferson. Look at them right there. Staying up on him, right? Decreasing the space. Usually if you're off right there, he would have went to Justin Jefferson real quick right here on this out-breaking route, or in-breaking route actually. And then that would have been it. You see, that's where he wanted to go, but it's bracketed, right? Because they decreased the space. Now he has to come back to his second read. He's good enough to do that. You still got to be on him. But you can see people starting to uncover and everything. I just don't think LSU's offensive line is that good. Let's be honest with it. They both have bad offensive lines in my opinion, but Joe Burrow is the absolute truth. Jugular Joe. All right, so I imagined or opined about the spacing in regards to defending LSU's passing game. And this kind of gives me cause to pause, not going to lie right here. CJ Henderson matched up in the boundary, man-to-man, decreased the space. But I noticed there was a lot of zone in this game against Auburn. A ton of zone and a ton of spacing. You do that against LSU, I don't care who you are, you're going to be unable to compete. They're just too good of athletes out wide with the quarterback throwing the ball so good. You have to decrease the space. But if we see up here, this is the play that I was looking for and got the results that I think people would want off this particular play right here. Too much space. And this is with Auburn's throw game, which I think is definitely athletic, right? Definitely athletic, but not quite up to speed like with LSU. And we see what the spacing generates right there, man. I'll tell you, better decrease that space. That's going to be a tough one on you. I definitely got to point out some of the holes in Florida's offensive line. That would be the left and right tackle as far as the pass protection goes. The right tackle is Trask, Gene DeLance. And left tackle Stone Forsythe, I don't think is that good either. He's a guy that I don't think would start on a really good offensive line, or even just a kind of good offensive line. He was getting abused by Marlon Davidson here, and we can go through a couple of these right here. Don't get me wrong, Marlon Davidson is a potential first-round draft pick. I don't think LSU has anybody on his team right now that can rush the passer. Matter of fact, I know they don't have anyone on their team right now that can rush the passer like Marlon Davidson. They just do not possess that type of pass rush ability. So maybe it evens itself out in that manner. But if they can find someone, right, these exterior linemen would be the GOAT. So we see Stone Forsythe right there. Look at him. Stiff as a board, bending at the waist. To me, he's already beat right there. Right? Because you're going to have to stop moving your feet. Look at it. He's not moving his feet at all. I don't think his feet has moved one time in this whole situation. Bending over at the waist, slightly shuffles. So he's out leveraged and beat around the arc. Now he's having to move his feet. By then it's too late. Luckily Trask gets the ball off, but that's when he injured his knee right there. All right, here's another one right here. This was the fumble play where defensive tackle Derek Brown blew a tire trying to run the ball. But you can see who caused the fumble right there. Once again, Marlon Davidson on Stone Forsythe. Stone with those stone feet. Can't move his feet when he engages. Look at him, gets a little bit too wide in his technique. Much too wide. It's going to be hard to compete like that, especially when a guy's coming with the arm under move. Kyle Trask doesn't necessarily sense it. Fumble. All right, what happens with the freak like Kyle Pitts? So notice this right here. Don't look at the results of the play, just how it's derived. So him being split out wide constantly against Auburn was drawing him out wide against safety. So obviously that takes a guy who should be a pretty good tackler, like right here in Smoke Monday, bringing him out wide. These guys panic in these type of situations, so they were able to draw a lot of penalties and stuff from this. I don't think there's anybody built to guard this dude, right? So people are going to say Grant Delpit. That's not Grant Delpit's strong suit. He will definitely do something like this, right, if he's out wide trying to guard someone like Kyle Pitts. So they could probably draw a penalty from something like that because he'll make you panic. And especially if that's not your thing, guarding someone out there on an island, that's a totally different animal. What about fabricated pressure from LSU? I think Kyle Trask can be had with any type of pressure just because at this particular point in time, his development with the lack of experience, it seems that his pocket presence is a little off. So it's hard for me to watch people getting front side pressure and not sensing front side pressure or not seeing it. If you can't see front side pressure, it's probably because you're not going through your progressions and you're locked in on one player. So someone like, I would say like a Jake Fromm, he's constantly going through his progressions and he's able to really see this out of his peripheral vision, but he doesn't even sense this and gets hit right in his mouth. So think about that right there. All right, very excited to see my man Derek Stingley Jr. We see right here LSU man coverage. Obviously see him walked out over the slot right here instead of in his normal zone spot where you would see, look like Florida did most of the time against Auburn. So he's walked out here, so he has man-to-man responsibilities, and look at him work this particular route, man. See right here, he's in the hip pocket. Well, you can't see it, but you'll see when he comes out of it right there, right in the hip pocket of the receiver, and he almost runs the route for them. That's some really good stuff. You can see it better right here. Look at that. Play on the trail, undercut the route, trust your speed and your technique. Only thing he didn't do is come down with it. The receiver actually does a good job of getting his hand on the ball and essentially becoming the defender in that particular play. So can't wait to see Stingley match up with Van Jefferson or Trayvon Grimes or whomever. And the converse of that, I cannot wait to see C.J. Henderson match up with, maybe Jamar Chase, right? C.J. Henderson, Jamar Chase, if they don't let him travel with the best receiver to me, Justin Jefferson. All right. But with that being said, we see right here LSU's lack of a pass rush, albeit against a much better Texas line. It's what we saw all the time. Texas does not have a good throw game, in my opinion. It has some good pieces. Quarterback is pretty good, the receivers and stuff, but not an elite throw game. And it was able to have a ton of success too, mostly from the lack of pass rush. So see him right here, getting that bad boy in. So maybe that makes Florida's throw game look a lot better. And you have to say this, Florida has just looked like a better team, period, with Kyle Trask at the helm. And then you had the threat of Emory Jones coming in, a lot of stuff. Same thing on the other end. LSU just looks like a much better team with this new system. But both teams, to me, have some questions to be answered. The offensive line and run game for Florida, maybe Kyle Trask himself, although we just saw him against a much better defense than I think that LSU is going to be able to trot out. And then the converse of that is LSU's run game, offensive line as well, and then LSU's defense. So to me, this is a 50-50 fight. If this were boxing, it would be a 50-50 fight. I said in the live stream, I was going Florida 28, LSU 24. And we'll see how it happens. But I have no dog in the fight. I honestly don't care who wins. I just want to see a good game with some good stuff between these white lines that we can talk about here with the Top Billin family. All right, treat you guys like family, so come back and holla at your family member Murf. As always, thank you for watching Top Billin Sports. I am the Underground King, and I am out. Peace.
What more can I say? Top Billin.